When the odds are stacked against you, will you still act in faith? Welcome to the Daily Devo. I am Vince Miller. This week, we are in 1 Samuel chapter 14. I've titled this chapter, A Contrast of Leadership Between Jonathan and Saul. Now, what you should know as we get into this chapter is it's a long chapter that could be divided into two parts. Part one is the story of Jonathan and his leadership. Part two is a story of Saul, King Saul, and his leadership. And as you will see, there's a great contrast between these two men. They come from the same family. Now, remember, Saul and Jonathan are a father-son duo in a very desperate moment. They're in a bad situation. Jonathan defeated a garrison that stirred up the Philistines. Saul just acted in disobedience to God. Their force of 3,000 is now reduced to a measly 600 ragtag men. They have no weapons, just gardening tools, and they watch as the enemy Philistines surround them, cutting them off from retreat or from any kind of help on every side. But then, almost out of nowhere, we hear this statement from young Jonathan in verse 6. It is the key verse of this chapter. You may want to highlight it like I have in mine. It reads, Jonathan said to the young man who carried his armor, "Come, let us go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised. It may be that the Lord will work for us, for nothing can hinder the Lord from saving by many or by few." Now, this is a great moment because out of this moment arises one man who sees the entire situation differently from the other 599. So just so that I'm honest with you today, I want to let you know I'm a realist. Now, some people are natural pessimists, others are natural optimists, but I would classify myself kind of as a realist. I see the reality of every situation. And because of this, I can tip sometimes toward pessimism. Other times I can tip toward optimism. A lot of it has to do with my past experiences in a given situation. Now, I want to say this. This is not a very optimistic moment that Jonathan is in. Even as a realist, I would look at this situation rather pessimistically. But regardless, Jonathan, right here in this moment, is not declaring optimism. He is not looking at a bad situation and calling it a good situation. There is nothing good about this situation. What he is stating here is his faith in God. You see, he believes and is fully convinced that God can do anything in and with a terrible situation, and that he can take action based on his faith in God, even if the odds in the present situation are pessimistically stacked against him. Now, I don't know what the situation before you is today. The situation that is before you might be overwhelming. You might feel surrounded. If so, I want you to know that in all reality, the situation might be terrible and the odds might be stacked against you. It might be very pessimistic. But remember, you serve a God who defies all odds. So regardless of your situation, don't let your situation dictate a change in what you believe about God. It's your responsibility to believe in faith and trust in God, who can do anything, and then act on this based on your faith in God. Because Jonathan was right here. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving by many or by few. And that's not a statement of optimism. It is a statement of fact that is based on our faith and the truth of God. So do that today. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else. I'll see you right back.